My name is Devin. This video introduces the Selva Terrarium product line and the forest floor terrarium product concept. This first clip shows a forest, a northern temperate forest with its tall trees. There are many other kinds of plants and animals that also call this ecosystem their home. And one of the most characteristic parts of the forest ecosystem is the leaf litter which covers the ground layer. And this is just comprised of the leaves that fall from the tall trees. Smaller kinds of plants grow up through the leaf litter, and there are many kinds of animals that also use this as their primary habitat. And you can see that it's just a layer of leaves decomposing and covering the ground. Okay, go ahead. Forest floor terrariums create a reproduction of that forest floor habitat with a few different kit components that include a sturdy false bottom plate along with a fitted false bottom screen, and the screen helps to create a tight seal around the plate edges. There are a few other components in the kit, including planter pots that are used in combination with live terrarium plants, along with a few other items too. The next series of clips will go through the construction from the beginning of a forest floor terrarium in a terrarium enclosure. This is a standard 12 by 12 by 18 glass terrarium, and we start out by inserting the spacers, the spacer pipes that go into the bottom of the enclosure, which help to hold the false bottom plate a few inches above the bottom of the glass terrarium. And then on top of the false bottom plate, the planter screen. And then we can start to add the first of the terrarium plants. This miniature ginger will serve as the centerpiece plant in the terrarium layout, and that's followed with a couple of smaller pilea plants, which will stay pretty short and be nice foreground plants for the terrarium. And then in the background we'll add a few of the same kind of fern. The lacy foliage of the fern really blends together nice and just gives a really nice look to the whole terrarium planting. And then to make a natural scene inside of the terrarium, we begin to add that natural forest leaf litter. And these are just dried, fallen tree leaves. And by spreading them around, we can cover up the false bottom, the planter pots, the planter screen to make a really authentic, really natural looking forest floor scene. The plants have just been transplanted, so they're a little bit stressed out, so we'll add some water, mist them with water to raise the humidity. And then a driftwood feature, a branchy feature, will go into the terrarium to recreate that dead fallen wood, the branches and tree trunks that are also a natural part of the forest ecosystem. This branch feature just hangs from the terrarium enclosure top rim. And we'll mist everything again just to make sure that the plants stay nice and humid while they transition to their new habitat in the terrarium. This is a simple fluorescent light that lights up the terrarium, provides the plants with the light that they need to grow. This shot a little bit closer shows the complete terrarium planting with the forest floor leaf litter, terrestrial terrarium plants, and branch feature, which are filling up the rest of the vertical space inside the enclosure. The false bottom plate creates a void space, and it's a good idea to cover that up. Here we used a black latex paint, just brushed right onto the glass to cover up that void and create a more natural scene for the terrarium. This shot is just another perspective view down into the terrarium, showing the terrarium planting. And finally, we return to the real forest ecosystem to see many of the same things that we use to build the forest floor terrarium. If you have any questions at all about forest floor terrariums, you want to learn more, please visit our website, www.selvaterrarium.com.